First item on the next item on the agenda is, given that there's no public individuals who've signed up for public speaking, we will move to the agenda itself. I believe the folks who've signed up are here for the regular meeting when we move into the agenda items for that meeting, correct?
Mine's not on the agenda.
But you're here for the fire department, I assume, speaking for that. So we'll move to that when we move to the other. Mr. King is also here for the other meeting as well. All right, we'll move to item 5, which is canvassing the votes from May 2nd, 2016 election. For the mayor, by default, I become mayor. At least I have received the votes to become mayor, 103 votes. Alderman, Alderwoman Terry Paul Cunningham received 79 votes. Carl Wild with 59 votes, and Kerry Perkins 61. And then the votes received during the election, the mail-in votes were 8, the early election was 36, election day was 84, for a total of 128 votes of our registered electors here in Honey Grove. So at this time, unless there are questions or comments, I will entertain a motion to approve the votes that were taken for this election.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion to accept the canvass and the vote. Do we have a second? From Mr. Moon, do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Mr. Cathy. All in favor, raise your right hand. We have Mr. Moon, Ms. Lane, Mr. Cathy, Ms. Massey, and Mr. Massey voting yes. If they're not opposed, then I accept the motion, and we will accept the canvassed votes as presented. At this time, we will move to swearing in new council members, and the first order of business is for the mayor to be sworn in again. And so I will ask Chastity if she will administer the oath of office. And you have to be a good Methodist to stand here, because you get sprinkled. Okay. I, Todd Cathy,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
that I will faithfully execute the office of mayor
of the state of Texas
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution.
and will, with the best of my abilities, preserve, protect the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and of this state, so help me God.
So help me God. Thank you. All right. Now we will swear in whichever of you wants to go first. Come up. I'll swear you in something. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to stand in the water. Okay. Raise your right hand. I,
Kerry Perkins,
do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Alderwoman of the state of Texas, and will, to the best of my abilities, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God. Congratulations. And we will see this alderman, so I will need one alderman to vacate the seat. Thank you. And why don't you wait just a minute, if you all will, and then, because I need to present you with the flags. Wait right there. Mr. Cunningham. One more time. One more time. Now, I'm going to move over. I know that you've been Methodist, but you're Baptist now, so you want sprinkle.
Okay, I'll swear.
Okay.
You're not going to hug me, are you?
No, I'm not going to have him. But he's my cousin, kind of.
So you're not hugging.
No, we're not having cousins. Okay. I
Terry Cunningham,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
ability, to the best of my ability, preserve, preserve, and protect,
and defend the Constitution
defend the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
There you shake my hand.
All right.
All right. And we go. Miss Massey, would you like to come up here? Yeah. You have a problem with being sprinkled?
No, I'm good.
Okay, good. Okay. Ms. Massey has served on the council, and she has done it dutifully and worked really hard on this council. I think given lots of attention to a lot of details that are important. They're important to the citizens of Honey Grove, and you worked hard to serve those folks, and that's appreciated. I think that really someone commented that there were winners in the election, and the reality was that there were not winners. They were all winners because they opted to participate in this election, those who did, and those who choose to serve do, regardless of the outcome of an election. If you're willing to step up and serve, that's a winner. And so I know that you have other challenges and other things that you're going to focus on, and you have a lot of support at home. And so thank you so much for your service. With our deepest appreciation, we hereby honor Ashley Massey in recognition of your support and dedication to the city of Honey Grove. Thank you for your years of service from 2024 to 2026.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, Mr. Massey. I'm not sure how many rodeos this is for Kenny. He's been up and down and up and down. I don't know how many times. 3, 2. You were as people. This your fourth. See, I lost count along the way. So he's been here a long time. And one of the things about Kenny, and I remember saying this when he exited the last time, Kenny's one of those people who really doesn't want to be out front. He doesn't want to draw attention. But he's one of those people who will work and strive behind the scenes to try to make things happen and to work for people. And especially he's done a great job, especially for veterans and other people who need various kinds of support. And so we see that, and I see that now even extended as he's leaving the council. I see that extended into the community, and that's important. And so he's at this point helping out someone that we all care about, and that's very meaningful. And we appreciate Kenny. City of Honey Grove, with our deepest appreciation, we hereby honor Kenny Massey in recognition of your support, your dedication to the city of Honey Grove. Thank you for your years, several years of service as alderman, and this flag recognizes the last year, 25-26. So you can put this one up with the others. Thank you so much. All right, now we will seat the two new candidates. Thank you. You all are welcome to stay again, or you're welcome to do your thing. Okay. Thank you all. All right, the next item.
Kenny might want to save that for next time.
Thank you all very much. Now, number 8 on this special agenda is in selecting a mayor pro tem, which is done annually when the election is held. So at this point, we have nominations for mayor pro tem.
I nominate a previous mayor pro tem,
You nominate who?
a previous mayor pro tem
Mayor?
in T.P. Cunningham.
Oh, I don't know. Are there other nominations?
Boy, said, I don't want it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Lane. Motion from Mr. Moon, a second from Ms. Lane, that Mr. Cunningham be our mayor pro tem once again. It sounds like you are all in favor. Sounds like you're elected again.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Buckle up.
I noticed he didn't raise his hand, that he was in favor.
Well, and I want to thank Ms. Lane, who has served as mayor pro tem and has been available and has worked very hard in that position. There are responsibilities that come with mayor pro tem, and it means you're giving some time, sometimes a little extra effort behind the scenes. And so I thank you so much for your efforts. Okay, with that, I'm going to close this meeting at 6:12, and then we're going to move to a regular council meeting. All right, we have a quorum with the installed new members. And with that, since we've had an invocation already, we will move to the public forum. Members of the public may speak on an agenda item during the public forum section of the meeting or at the time the agenda item is called for discussion by the mayor. Speakers shall be given 3 minutes per speaker. Members of the public wishing to address the council on non-agenda items may do so with a 3-minute per speaker limit. Consistent with the Texas Open Meetings Act, the council members cannot discuss non-agenda items. All speakers are expected to maintain proper decorum when presenting and while in council chambers. Threats, profane, personal insults, or profane language are out of order and may result in forfeiture of remaining time and possible removal from the meeting. Citizens wishing to comment must submit their request to the council, and usually here we have you sign up prior to the meeting. The first item of order is, at this point, Adam, or do you want to speak at this time, or do you want to wait until we get to some? Okay. Who's waiting? Whenever. You can do it now in the public forum. Yeah.
So just want to give y'all an update. I know it's been a while since we met with y'all about our engine. We are going next week to make ready, and we will pick it up the week after. We will be serving the city within 2 weeks. So it's coming to Mansfield Monday, 2 p.m. We'll either go put all our stuff on it either Tuesday or Thursday of next week, and then they'll mount everything. And it should be in Honey Grove, ready to go in 2 weeks. So that's where we're at on that. Just want to give y'all an update on it. Hopefully we'll have it this month. Next week, sooner than later. That's all I have.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Sounds good. Thank you, Adam. All right, at this time we'll move to item 5, the consent items. You have in your packet the minutes of the previous meetings, the City Council meeting of April 22nd, 2026, the City Council workshop April 22nd, 2026, liabilities and disbursements, City Secretary's report, the Police Department's report, Utility Department's report, and the Fire Department's report. Unless there are questions or comments about anything there, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent items.
A motion to approve the consent items as presented.
Okay. Is there a second? Have a second from Mr. Cunningham, a motion from Ms. Lane. All in favor? Raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Item 6, mayor or council presentation. This is information only. I want to thank those who helped with the election. They're not here tonight, but Jerome and Violet Spell were very helpful in the whole process of handling the election. They were helpful with information, they were helpful with working the election, And so they're very involved, and they're very involved in the city. It's kind of unusual for them not to be here tonight, but we do appreciate the things that they do on behalf of the city. I would also point out, and Charles can tell you more about this, Encore is replacing a number of light poles here in town. There's one down by City Hall there's two on the southwest corner. There's one over by the police department on the southwest corner. And then there's some others that in other areas of town. I think there's about 5 or 6, aren't there, that's being replaced? There's 7. Okay. There's 7 being replaced. So you'll see Encore or their contractors out working on those poles, and they'll be replacing those. Our Atmos Gas is working along, and it's probably going to take them, when they came here, they said it would be a 2-year project, and I think it's going to take every bit of 2 years, and it may take a little longer than that. They're working up and down the streets in various locations, and so, but I will say this, they've been very responsive to any issues that have been raised through City Hall or through any of us that people have talked to. And they've told us who to contact if there was an issue, and we've done that, and they've responded to it. So they've been very helpful in that whole process. I would remind you that between now and the next time we meet, we will celebrate Memorial Day, recognizing those who have served honorably our country. And I would encourage you that if there are activities around that you try to participate in those and recognize those people who are in your lives who have served, and give them the special recognition that they need. Some of us did not serve in the military, some did, and so I certainly didn't, but I appreciate those who have and did. And so I'll remind you that that's anything from anybody. Yes.
I would like to recognize the chamber, the police department, and the fire department, because the crawfish boil was a great time. And I know it took a lot of work from everybody. So if y'all didn't get to go, y'all missed out on a good time.
And I believe their market is this week. It's Saturday, isn't it?
It's this Saturday.
Farmers market, isn't it? Yeah, coming up.
Yeah, it's going to Saturday.
And it's supposed to be bigger and better.
Yes.
Okay. All right, anything else? All right, we're going to now move to there's no old business. Now we'll move to new business, and I'm going to ask at this time, we're going to have Ariane come, and she's from McClanahan and Holmes. I'll get it out in a minute. I don't really stutter, but sometimes I do. McClanahan and Holmes, and she has been working with us on our audit, and it's been a slow, painful process in some ways, but we're delighted that you have it in front of you, and she's going to go over it, and questions that you have, she will get to the place in the audit, especially near the end of the first part, where they make recommendations and point out some things that we will need to attend to, and so that's always helpful. All right, if you'll hold the mic pretty close, we'll
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, kind of do a little bit of a highlight reel of this, so if I need to slow down or if you need to stop and ask any questions, please feel free to do so. We'll start on page 1 of the larger bound report. This is your annual financial report. Page 1 is our auditor's report. It states our opinion. In that second paragraph, it states in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of the city as of September 30th, 2025, so you received a clean opinion. Down below states management's responsibilities and the auditor's responsibilities. Management is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of these financial statements, and the auditor's objectives are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatement, and to include an auditor's report that includes our opinion, which was stated above. Page 3, the financial statements. I will go into great detail. This first one is your statement of net position, which shows your assets, liabilities, and net position as of September 30th, 2025. Page 4 is your statement of activities, which shows your revenue and expenses for the same time pages 5 and 6 are financial statements specifically for general fund and debt service, and water is on pages 8 and 9. If I have any specific questions, I'm happy to look over them with you, but if not, I'll go on to the notes of financial statements, which begin on page 13. This begins with summary of significant accounting policies. You can go through there, most notes that are relevant to most councils are going to be pages 25 and 26. That's the roll forward of capital assets. And then page 35, which has your long-term liabilities for your debt. And pages 40 through 41 has your registration functions.
Questions?
Would we be able to take time to look at these and you come back another meeting and go over them?
That I have my cards with me. You're welcome to call me at the office. I always have more detail with my computer in front of me. So if you have more specific questions, that may be the easiest route. But that's entirely up to council. How to go forward from that.
Is that what you'd like to do?
Yes, I would. That would be great. I just
And-
Absolutely, I'll leave those.
flipping through it, I
Go
can't
yeah.
get any information.
Absolutely.
Your next report, the
Yeah.
smaller one, this is the communication of those charged with government. These include our findings and recommendations, which are on pages 3 and 4. Technically, this report is restricted to those charged with government, meaning your council. So if you have specific questions, I'm happy to answer them. I don't need to go over too much detail. And then the next pages include the journal entries that were done as part of the audit.
Let me, since the council would like to look this over before we move forward, could we put it on our workshop maybe, where we can go over at that point and then bring it back to the council meeting?
To approve it.
Huh?
To approve it or for us to come back?
Is that what
It
you
needs to be approved, doesn't it?
Huh?
It needs to be approved.
It needs to be approved now.
It needs to be set to the state.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we have to send it
It
to the
has to be
state,
sent
so we have to approve it.
Yeah.
Well, let me just, let's talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
Go back in this page, no, on the other, back on the other one. Go back to the summary, issues that you all have raised.
Oh, any findings and recommendations?
Yeah.
That was in that smaller report
Yeah.
on page 3.
Yeah,
Page 4, I believe, right?
3 and 4. The first one is financial accounting and reporting. That's down at the very bottom of page 3.
yeah,
This is going to be any of our smaller entities have this. This means we prepared financial statements, and then we did these adjustments that are included as the report. So that's on any small one. On page 4, that segregation of duties, that's the same way. Any small entity, when you have the same person that can, print payroll checks and sign them, things like that.
yeah,
But that's going to be common anywhere that you only have a few people in the office at a time.
yeah.
The more specific ones are down below, but if y'all want to read those, or at least their titles are there italicized if you have any questions on that, you can. Chastity and I have reviewed all of these together throughout the audit process. So we've got the bank reconciliations, we worked on that at the beginning of the audit. Payroll filings, we were aware of those, where Jackie worked on that. Public funds investment trade index means that the city needs to review the investment policy annually. We didn't see it last year, and that was completed. And then there's a training, which Chastity has 12 months from the time of becoming city secretary and finance officer to get that.
Yeah. Some of these things, I don't think there were any real surprises in the report, actually. A number of these are things that have been, where they've been working, Jackie has been working with Chastity and with you all, But some of the things like separation or segregation of duties is one of those things that's kind of hard. And Ariane and I have talked about this in terms of, one, who writes checks, who signs off on checks, who has the capacity to do that. And ideally, you would have people who write the checks, but do not sign the checks. And so we have a situation where most of the time here, Lisa, for example, writes the checks and pays the bills and does most of that. But there are times when it's necessary for Chastity to write a check. And so normally what would happen is she writes the checks, I sign them, and Chastity signs them. And so we've worked toward that somewhat. We've worked towards cross-training so that Sarah's involved in some of it so that we don't have everybody doing the same thing all the time. So there's some things like that. The bank reconciliations you've been working on, so those are things that have been happening. We know that there have been over time some untimely payments. We know that, and they've worked on updating that and getting that to happen. I think that's not happened in the new stuff, in the new year. These are things that happen. Of course, keep in mind we're auditing 2025 and issues that are related to 2025. And so what's happened is they've had to go back and work on information, and in some cases, Chastity was not part of that. This is really not her audit. This is an audit for people who aren't here. And so, but since Chastity has come on, they've worked very hard to do what they're supposed to be doing. So we're hoping that with our new year, 2026, that everything will be ready and we'll be on time and get everything done. So, but with that, if we're going to approve this, well then I need a motion to approve it.
A motion that we approve the 2025 audit.
We have a motion from Ms. Lane to approve the 2025 audit. We have a second. I have a second from Mr. Cappy. All in favor? Motion carries. Mr. Moon votes yes. Ms. Lane, yes. Mr. Cappy, yes. Ms. Perkins, yes. And Mr. Cunningham, yes. So the motion carries, and so we appreciate it. And if we have questions, what we will do is come back to you. Thank you so much. And I appreciate the patience that you've shown with us and working with us. It's probably been one of the most challenging audits that since I've been here in Honey Grove. So thank you.
The whole office.
Yeah.
Plus some.
Yeah. So, but we're working to meet the recommendations you all are making. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now you're welcome to stay as well.
We'll probably stay down.
You're done. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. At this time, I'm going to ask Mayor Michael King to come up front. Mr. King, Mayor King, is here to talk to us about code, police, and code enforcement for Dodge City in somewhat the same way that we're working with Wyndham. And if you all will remember, we have an agreement, the chief agreed to do this, that we provide 30 hours random time to Wyndham. There are stipulations in our agreement that specify what Wyndham's roles are and what Honey Grove's is, where the dual roles overlap, who is responsible for various aspects. And I suspect, Chief, you've spoken to the chief, and Chief has not screamed. So, yes, sir. This is Mr. King from Dodge City. He's the mayor there.
Yes, some of y'all know me, some of you don't. I'm Mayor Dodson. We currently have a contract with a fairly large code enforcement company, and we're just looking to kind of bring them up. I talked to Lady Valley, I think y'all provided with them, and we're open. We're not looking to get the same deal Wyndham's got. I don't really know what their deal is other than 30 hours a month. we just kind of wanted to know, y'all as a city would be interested in, just a little further down the road, you already got there with them, maybe coming over and doing code enforcement, and a little police enforcement. We don't have a whole lot of trouble that would require police enforcement. There is occasional people trying to make it right. I'm not sure. So, I mean, it's grass not being cut. It's trash not being picked up. It's blocking the intersections because you've got 37 cars on the corner and people can't get down. It's the normal stuff when you do this. And the company that we currently are contracted with, we got a 60-day out. So, just, I don't know if y'all would be open to the idea of coming a little further down and basically doing what you're doing money for us.
Chief, you wanna,
We've talked about it, and it's kind of going to address the issue now, some what he said, and I told him to do the same, the cities that has them, it is 5 miles further, so, we'll have to look at what that might look like in numbers.
We can hammer out the details right now. It's something y'all be interested in. You're gonna need that big 30 hours, to be honest. As you know, optics are alike. If they see a police car rolling through town on a regular basis, they're gonna go, hey, wait, we need to straighten up. The little code enforcement we have had has helped a lot. And I'd just like to see that continue, maybe a little better.
Has our contract been extended on this with Wyndham? We have one that expired in 2025. It says it can be extended, but I don't know if it has been.
Yeah, they're still down, it's kind of like all of the rules of what was.
Yeah, that was on the second page, I think. It said it automatically renew every year. I think it automatically terminates every year and then automatically renews.
I didn't keep reading.
Page 3.
It automatically continues.
But under the same agreement, under the same cost, under the same, or we get paid the same amount since 22 when this took. We haven't.
And Wyndham is still the same.
yeah,
Okay.
it's $750 a month plus $25 an hour.
No, it's just.
If we don't charge them anything more than that?
No,
Okay.
they just,
They don't go over the amount, okay. Because I think the contract that we signed with Wyndham says if they go over the 30 hours, they pay for that. Yeah.
Have you checked with Ron?
No way. Just curious. No way. Go straight to you, Thompson.
I can take mom, but I cannot say.
So,
Mom,
Well, I had to take it. They won't even let the inspector work for overseas. Out of those new construction inspections, things like that, they won't even let them work for overseas.
Can we afford to let Chucky go over there? I mean, I know he wouldn't take up the whole 30 hours, but do we have the ability to send Chucky over there for those hours? For the code enforcement, obviously it would be a different officer for doing the police awareness, but.
yeah, I mean, that's his primary, that's all. Until I get more.
Right. But he would be able to fulfill us, Wyndham, and Dodge City? Okay.
Because it's always emergency,
Yeah.
and waiting period, so yeah, it's always.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly. Like I said, we're talking about same liability and stuff, when we have to get the insurance, make sure it goes over there as well.
When we did this with Wyndham, we did it for a period of time just to see what the implications were for Honey Grove. That's part of the agreement too that we struck with them, that we would actually see if it created a problem for us in terms of coverage. And certainly we could do the same thing if we're going to do a contract or agreement like this.
And part of, in the contract, you know, that Honey Grove is primary.
Yeah.
So anything that happens, Honey Grove takes primary. Even if we're over there, again, it's something that will come back.
I would expect.
This is primary, so we're always in there anyway.
Do you all employ a municipal court judge there,
no, we actually have, just call.
Okay. As your municipal?
He is a city judge.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a city judge, and, Dana is the, court clerk.
Okay.
You know, we really set all that up when we signed up with the, it's kind of a thing, as you imagine. We got all that in place, and it's been working pretty good a few times, it's been used.
That is one of our, they have got it on, so, about all our cases, they're sitting on, don't bring anything, same as when we first started, and that's suspended for a bit, so they have to court, because we're not gonna write tickets for women, people want to come to school, it has to go to each school, so, they already have it, of course,
So essentially, if you did this, would you just do an extension up to Dodge City when they go up there to Wyndham? Or could it vary? It could vary.
the same time, but yeah. And it could be one where it's one where it's last minute.
So is it your recommendation, Chief, that we do this?
I'm fine with it as a department. It's really, I mean, I don't see it being a problem unless it's going to go working primary or anything. Or maybe coverage.
You said you had some numbers to look at and make sure.
No, we were talking about numbers, and I was going to see what the final detail. But at least some part of this document.
That's the main thing I'm worried about is the 750. Like Brandon was talking about, it hadn't changed since 22. Is that still going to be enough to cover our costs with the added mileage? I mean, not that it's a lot further, but and cost on our time. I mean, is that going to be taken away from the citizens of Honey Grove to enforce elsewhere? Are we at least covering the cost of doing that business? Okay.
We don't, and like, we don't take, we do our police, majority of the calls will go to Fannin County. We're mainly, we'll take, we got dogs or something like that, barking dogs, we're close to we'll go there. But, major calls we still work with Fannin County Service. So everything we do, something major, everything, we're gonna take. It's not like we're in there 100% police department, they're still county. The county can't enforce any city ordinances. So that's the main reason, as long as we're there long, we can do their city codes.
And that's something I'll add, I will say, since the sheriff's taken over, there has been increased presence of Fannin County law enforcement in the town, especially during school. Yeah, I mean, you're sitting there pretty late in school zone, and I'm happy to see it. I was talking to a little bit, just that you possibly could keep that in school zone. Yeah. The numbers, the time, the amount, that can be worked out. I'm not asking you to make on that. I don't know if y'all be interested in.
Maybe the rest of your council is new with it. So, I guess so.
No, I actually had to get your permission. Yeah, so I had a lot more power when I was on city council, but become mayor, I have to do anything without permission.
So would we need to take it to workshop to discuss the financial aspect?
We could take it to the workshop if you all want to take it to the workshop and explore it a little more. We have a workshop coming up fairly soon. And if that's what you all recommend, that's what we would do, and try to look at it to see what the implications are. The real concern that I have, actually, the issue is I think we have the capacity to do what we're doing. I mean, it seems like it's working for Wyndham. We have for a town the size of Honey Grove, we have a pretty hefty police department. But with all I'm reading right now regarding budgets and other towns and how they're having to look at their budgets, we don't want to spread ourselves too thin. So I think we need to think about commitments we make, and I think it's a good idea to take it to the workshop, if that'll work for you.
It worked for me, absolutely.
Okay.
And you know, you could definitely, if you decide to do it, I know city council wouldn't have any problem with it.
Sure.
You know, like, it becomes a 60-day out or something like that.
Yeah.
You can do it, you realize, hey, man, we just, haven't had out,
Okay.
you know.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to take this to the workshop.
I motion that we take this to the workshop.
We have a motion from Ms. Lane to move to this workshop, this agenda item. Mr. Moon seconds. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of taking it to the workshop, raise your right hand. Mr. Moon, Ms. Lane, Mr. Gabby, Ms. Perkins, and Mr. Cunningham. All vote yes. So we'll put it on the workshop agenda. Chastity will put that on. And we will get back with you at some point. We appreciate your coming, Mayor. Yeah. All right. The next item on the agenda is approval for Paul Puckett to have a fireworks permit to do the 4th of July, which is on actually June the 27th. Paul, some years ago, agreed that Wyndham would always have theirs on the 4th of July. And he pointed that out to me when he came. The mayor pointed it out. So they have ours Saturday before. And that's great, as long as we have it. I don't think anybody's going to have a problem with Paul doing the fireworks show. But I'll entertain a motion to approve the permit for Puckett to do his fireworks show.
I have a question. Is there a cost for him to do that? Get a permit? Is that way
No,
out here?
we don't charge that.
Okay.
No.
Then I make a motion that we approve the permit for Paul Puckett to have this fireworks display.
I have a motion for Mr. Caffey to approve the permit to do the fireworks show from Paul. We have a second. We have a second from Ms. Lane. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Hold on.
I do need, Chastity, if you can put it on your notes that I need dumpsters, or Paul carts.
Yes.
Good, thank you. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. All right, the last item for the agenda, and we've had a lot of discussions about certificates of occupancy for rental properties. And we had the same, for those who were not on council, the last workshop, we had really a good discussion about that. And we have had in the packets, and I don't know that you all have in your packet, the council members who have been on the council for a while were given the last meeting 3 different ordinances that deal with actually dealing with rental properties. And the first one that was done was in 2003. And that's when Fred Siebenthal was here as mayor. And then in 2020, we addressed the issue again. And kind of let me tell you the backdrop of all of that. All of this came about because we felt like that there were properties here that were not being maintained at all, not being taken care of, and that citizens were in some ways being taken advantage of. And so there was an effort to look at properties and being sure that they were at least safe and not dangerous to people who were moving into them. And so actually the 2020 ordinance, Mr. Owen was on council at the time that this happened. And then we discussed it again. So at our last council, we had our last workshop, we had a lot of discussion about what is it that we really want to get at. And you have had an opportunity to go away and think about it and to come back and to at least talk about making recommendations. I think our goal has not been about punishing people who have rental properties. That's not the goal. The idea was that we wanted to somehow help people who actually rent the properties. And certainly we don't want, we know that if you're charging people for this, and you're charging them for this, and you're charging them for this, what's gonna happen is they're gonna go up on their rent. The people who are trying to rent from them are gonna be paying more and more. So I'll open it now for discussion on your part and any suggestions you have.
So I know one of the concerns was the unpaid water bill. So I checked in another small community requires before they will turn the water on, either the property management company or the property owner has to agree, they have to sign something that agrees that if the water bill does not get paid, they will pay it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a really good idea because it guarantees that we get paid.
Yeah.
Because the water will not get turned on without that being done.
And that was really one of the issues. One of the concerns was people moving into a property and leaving with a huge water bill. And there's really not a great way to collect it because if they move to another community, that other community is obligated to turn their water on. And so it's hard to do it. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know about. It seems like to me that if somebody's having difficulty and they're not paying their water bill, it seems like to me there ought to be some agreement between the renter and the person who's renting the property to them that they let the person know that their water bill's running out, or we should be able to let them know that their water bill is running out. Somehow the property owner needs to know that this is happening. It seems like to me, and maybe the renter needs to agree for us to share that kind of information with the person who is renting. I'm just talking out loud.
Well, and the landlord would put that in his contract.
We run into that same problem with the renter down on the old Main Street Road.
Yeah.
And how I ended up dealing with it, the kid was riding my bus. And of course his mama asked me for money, for industrial lights. And did some research, and I said, well, can't you go to the lab I went to, told me, and it's leaking underneath. She said, she's not fixing it. I said, oh, she's lying to fix that. And I think she finally got it fixed. The water bill was like maybe $200.
Yeah.
By then, it's a bad situation.
Yeah. Mr. Cunningham sees that firsthand in folks in his capacity as pastor of a church.
And I really think that the law states that I haven't dove into it that far. It's tough to do.
The landlord or the property owner has to make sure that the property is habitable. It's on them to make sure that all of those issues are repaired. If it is going to cause an unsafe living condition for the tenant. So.
And I discussed that. I said, you know, if they have to move out of this county, I'm personally going to make sure that, you know, there's no renters, not another renter doesn't move in until that's fixed. And somehow they fixed it, so got me out of the loop for a little while. So,
Well, we know that we've had people who have rented properties and they've had leaks, and they knew they had a leak. The individuals living there knew they had a leak, but when we talked to them, their response is the owner won't fix it. They tell me they won't fix it, and that's you know, there are people like that just want to rent their property. But by the same token, that person moves out and you have a water bill that's hanging over the property. And in the past, somebody else would come along and rent that property and then realize that there was a big water bill. So somehow I think we have to address.
I think that's where it comes in. It's the city of Deeport that does that. and they require either the property management or the property owner sign a contract basically stating that I agree that if this tenant doesn't pay their water bill, I'm on the hook
Yeah.
for it.
And I think that's one way to do it without changing the ordinance and making a whole new set of things that we need to enforce.
I agree.
So it would be my opinion, and I would be willing to make a motion that we walk back the current, certificate of occupancy ordinance that was recently passed back to the 2020 that was already on file and in place. I would make that motion that we retract the most recent one and walk it back to the 2020 ordinance.
But I do have a question about it. I agree that the property owner should register, and I can't remember if that's in that 2020. I don't think they should have to pay or get it inspected, but I think that they should register with the city,
And
so
I
the
think,
city knows who owns the property.
We did talk
I
about
think
that.
the one that was passed in 2020, I think it included.
I couldn't remember if it said it or not, and I
Yeah,
didn't bring
but
one.
I agree that we ought to register, we ought to know where rental property is for a lot of reasons. That's not a whole lot to ask folks to do that. And I don't know that it's a lot to ask that they share responsibility if somebody's not paying their water bill. And that the owner of the property be notified that you've got a renter that's not paying their bill. I don't know, that just seems kind of fair to the owner so they know that that's happening. So the motion that Mr. Moon is making at this point is that we walk back the 2026 ordinance and refer back to the 2021. And do we want to add the stipulations that you've said to that one?
I think so. That's my opinion.
You can add that to the motion, yeah, that we
Okay. Chastity, you getting
register
that?
property.
Okay. So we have a motion, we walk back to the 2020 with some stipulations where we have folks be responsible.
As long as it doesn't include, I don't need to know what
Yeah.
they're renting it for or anything like that, just that it is a
Yeah.
rental property.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, is there a second to this
Second.
motion, to Mr. Moon's motion?
I second the motion.
We have a second from Ms. Lane that we eliminate 2026 and go back to 2020. And so is there any more, and we have a second from Ms. Lane. Do we have any other discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. So we write that 2026 off the books. All right, and we'll make corrections and bring it back. All right, that concludes our meeting, which is 6:54, and I will adjourn the meeting, and thank you all for being here. Mr. Felty, it's good to see you up and about, and chamber members, officers, it's